I think what some people would say is that if you make it easier to pass things, you're also making it easier for Republicans to pass things when they retake power. And, there's some truth to that, although I think you have to step back and look at this structurally and say which side benefits more from making it easier to block things. And the simple fact is that conservatives, by the very nature of their party and what they're trying to accomplish, benefit more by making it easier to block big change. Progressives, by the flip side of that, suffer much more by making it harder to pass big change. You see this from the time that Republicans were in power in the first years of the Trump administration, when they controlled a trifecta and had the White House and the House and the Senate. They used their power to pass a few things, but they largely didn't pass a broad range of things. Much of the damage that Trump did was through his own actions, his words, through the judges he appointed who've been striking down progressive laws left and right. But they didn't pass a big wave of legislation. They got their tax cuts in 2017 and a few rollbacks here and there, but generally we're pretty satisfied with their judges and their tax cuts. I think the reason for that is that conservatives simply don't have a massive agenda that they want to pass. And once they do try to do things, they find it to be very hard because much of what they want to do is politically unpopular. When they tried to reform Obamacare, all they needed to do so was a majority because they did it through the reconciliation process, which we can talk about if you want. It's a hot topic right now. But because they did it through reconciliation, they only needed a majority. So the filibuster was no help for Democrats in blocking it. And Republicans were unable to get a majority to repeal Obamacare because it was politically unpopular. And I think that's what they'll find with a lot of the things that they try to undo. Progressive reforms have a tendency that once they go into effect, people like them and they become hard to undo. If you flip that around and look at everything that Biden wants to pass, the vast bulk of his agenda, which is desperately needed, will be blocked by the filibuster if it remains in place. So, if Biden wants to have a successful administration and Democrats want to deliver the results they promise people on the campaign trail, they're going to have to face up to the fact sooner rather than later that this stuff can't pass if the filibuster remains in place, and filibuster reform is a necessity.